Are you a boxer, MMA fighter, or self-defense practitioner who closes your eyes when fighting? Or maybe you have this really annoying habit of reflexively blinking when punches are thrown at your face. Well, I'm here to tell you it does not have to be that way. In fact, I can teach you how to stop reflexive blinking in all forms of combat. Let me show you how. Now, before we get started, it's important to mention there are a lot of boxing coaches and YouTube influencers who believe that you can control reflexive blinking with sparring alone. Well, folks, that's not entirely true. What they fail to understand is that sparring gives you the freedom to disengage the range at your discretion. For example, if things get overwhelming, you can always pull back for an instant, which temporarily eliminates the immediate threat and reduces your natural instinct to blink. What makes matters even worse is this is often done subconsciously when fighting. Now, if you're going to use sparring as a means of controlling blinking, I strongly encourage you to at least incorporate my hip fusing drill that has been featured on my YouTube channel. It's this type of sparring exercise that prevents you from disengaging from the range of combat when overwhelmed with blows. But even hip fusing is not the final solution. If you really want to condition yourself not to shut your eyes or blink during fighting, it's important to isolate and eliminate this natural instinct with my blink negation drill. Controlling reflexive blinking is an important part of speed training. You always want to avoid reflexive blinking when a punch or kick or any attack is thrown at you. A split second could leave you vulnerable to another blow. Now, while reflexive blinking is a natural reflex, it can be controlled, and we're going to show you one of the drills that help you accomplish this. It's called the blink negation drill. Okay, to begin, you want to have your partner square off about 5 feet from you. And what Brad, the guy on the right, is going to do is he's going to launch punches at Tim from quite a distance. And what Tim's going to do is try not to blink at the shots. Now, once Brad realizes that Tim's not blinking because it's not a threat to him, he'll slowly step closer to Tim. Okay, so again, stop right there, Brad. Tim's not blinking from the punches, so what Brad's doing is he's incrementally getting closer with the fist, okay? And that requires you to extend your arm further and step a little bit closer incrementally. So begin, Brad. So you can't see if Tim's blinking or not, but as soon as Brad sees that he is blinking, he'll stop right there and work it from there. So what Tim is working on, that's the guy on the left, he's working on making a controlled effort not to blink when the blows are coming at him. So what Brad's doing, he's exercising a tremendous amount of control. He's throwing those punches I'd say about 2 or 3 inches away from Tim's face. Okay, so what you want to do is, first of all, you always want to have a partner you can trust, who's not going to miss or who's going to actually hit you, because it can be extremely dangerous. And notice how Brad's just flicking it out. I mean, he's working on speed. He's trying to get Tim to blink. Now, if you're throwing these shots at your partner and he's blinking a lot, it means you're too close and you need to back up. Okay, because the idea is you want to get to that point where he doesn't blink and then work your way from there. So the idea is you have Brad, the guy on the right, is monitoring if Tim is blinking. And if he is, if Tim keeps on blinking, it means Brad's too close and he's throwing it too fast. So he's got to back off a little bit, and he's got to start again until there's a fine line where the blinking continues, and then it stops. You want to use your most coordinated and your quickest appendage, and for most people it's going to be that lead hand. Okay, and it doesn't have to be linears, it could also be circulars. Okay, you can actually, Brad, swing at him like an open hand to the side. There you go, just like that, control it. Okay, did you blink on that one, Tim? Yeah, he did. Okay, so again, Brad will work with that on Tim. And again, you want to focus on both sides of Tim's periphery. So it could be the right hand or the left hand Brad can swing with. There you go. But he has, again, the guy on the right, Brad, has a tremendous amount of control. Okay, we don't recommend that you do this with a training partner unless you have protective gear on, because an accident could always occur. and you don't want a severe injury. So we recommend that you use protective equipment like headgear, mouthpiece, and possibly a glove. Later, when you become more proficient and you're with somebody you can really trust in terms of skill level, you can do open hand stuff like we're demonstrating here. So this is called a blink negation drill, and it's designed to help you control reflexive blinking. And if you can control your reflexive blinking, it's definitely going to enhance your speed. So visual reflexes is definitely a speed link, and controlling your blinking is part of that speed link. Okay, so Brad, keep throwing your shots at Tim. Just for the viewers, just blink a lot when he throws a shot. Okay, so keep blinking, keep blinking. Okay, so here's an example where the guy's blinking too much. So you back up a little bit until he doesn't blink as frequently. Okay, good. All right, he's not blinking. Okay, so you step a little bit closer. Now blink a little bit, Tim. Okay, so that's a good point right there. He's blinking every so often. If a guy doesn't blink after five real quick shots, chances are you should move in a little bit closer to him. And if he blinks 5 times in a row, it means you should back up. This is another variation of the blink negation drill, and what we're doing is the same thing, but this time Brad, the guy on the right, has gloves on, and Tim has some headgear. And what Brad's going to do, he's going to start from that 5-foot distance, and he's going to throw those shots, and then he's going to slowly work his way in to the point where he starts to get the blink reflex. And he's going to work at that point. Now the idea is ultimately Brad's going to make very light contact. He's going to actually hit Tim real light, and this is really hard for Tim because most guys will blink, reflexively blink, when contact is made with them. So this drill is a lot of control, but Tim is working on not blinking. And if Brad sees that every time he makes contact, Tim blinks, Brad will back off a little bit to the point where he doesn't blink any longer. So you really got to find that fine line where the blinking stops and where it starts, and you have to work with it. The ultimate goal is not to blink when contact is made. So this is a blink negation drill with contact. Again, you should have a mouthpiece in, headgear, and again, it's light contact. You don't have to hit a guy hard to teach him and train him not to blink. Okay, so again, the goal is make light contact and try to get your partner, training partner, to blink. Okay, he's not blinking, which is good. So when you swing, try to swing around him, Brad. See, he's moving that eye again to it. Look straight ahead, Tim. Look right at his throat. Good, Brad, swing around. He's blinking on that. So this is good. So now you know what's causing Tim to blink, and then you work with it. And you work it, do it slow until he doesn't blink any longer, and then progressively build up the speed. Again, the key here is safety and training with a partner who's got a lot of control, a lot of finesse, and who's safety conscious. We don't really put kicks in here because the odds of a guy throwing a high line kick to the head are very few and far between. And also, compared to the hands, the feet are much slower and telegraphic, so the blinking reflex is not going to be as frequent. So we work the hands because you can really create some significant speed and force them to blink. Now we're doing independent tools here. Brad is not throwing compound attack, which is a whole nother drill. We're just doing independent shots.